Alright, so one of my New Year's resolution this year was to finally start making a game. I've always wanted to make one, but now I finally decided to go for it because, lately I feel like you need to go for the things you want in life or else it'll never come to you. And so there it was at the beginning of January. I was watching a lot of YouTube videos on how to get started, what game engine I should use, and once I decided that I was going to use Godot because it seemed like the easiest, I then started following tutorials on making RPGs because I already knew that that was the kind of game I was going to make. I finished around 3 tutorials before I thought it was finally time to leave the bird's nest and start my own game. And I started off really strong. I already brainstormed what my game was going to be, all the features I was going to have, and even the lore for the game. But then as soon as I decided to start actually working on the game, I clicked create project, and as soon as I opened it, I already ran into my first problem. I had no art for my game. Because you see, in the tutorials, they just give you these asset packs to download, and then you just use the art in there to create your game. But now that I was making my own, I had nothing. And I literally had no idea how to make any either. And so I thought I had two options, in my opinion. I could either pay someone to make the art for me, or I learned to make the art on my own. But then, oh my goodness, I ran into an even bigger problem. I didn't even know what I wanted for my art.
Bruh.
I had an idea in my head in terms of like vibe, but I had no idea what that even looked like. So even if I paid someone to do it, I probably couldn't even describe to them well enough what I wanted. And I'd just get back something that I wouldn't be happy with. And I mean, obviously, I can't even do it myself because I don't even know what I want. So I was stuck for a really long time. And, it was really frustrating because even though I wanted to start making my game, I couldn't even start without a character. And so I was browsing through free sprite sheets for inspiration, but I couldn't really find one that suited my needs. And I watched a lot of YouTube videos on making sprite art, and none of them really helped me until I came across this one video where a guy was recreating art in the style of previous games. And one of the styles that really caught my eye was Chrono Trigger. I really like the proportions and the overall vibe because I feel like it hit what I wanted. And it also did remind me a little bit of the style from Stardew Valley, which was a huge reason why I started making this game, by the way. And so I tried to apply the same principles in the video. I downloaded Libre Sprite, which is like a sprite for free from this video. And then I started slowly converting sprites from the Chrono Trigger sprite sheet and turning it into something that I could use. I would do a little bit here and there each day, and so it took me like 2 weeks to a month to finish the animations. And after finally putting it all together in my game, this is what it looks like. Alright, I know it looks pretty bad, but hear me out. I think the plan is to try and make art that is somewhat good enough by myself for now, and then later pay someone to redo all the art and make it better. So I'm not really sure if I went through the roadblock or if I just kind of moved it down the line, but I think more importantly, I didn't let this stop me from doing what I want to do. I think I learned that you can't let these inconveniences, no matter how big or small they seem, get in the way of you accomplishing your goals. They're always going to be there, and it doesn't matter if you know how to deal with it or not. You just have to keep on pushing forward and not let it stop you. Thank you for watching, and hey, let me know what you think of my art, whether it's good and it just needs refining, or if I just need to change the style entirely. Thank you.